Right. We are going to start a very important topic and also a controversial topic today. And before I start the topic, let's, as usual, take a quick recap. We start with half a day fasting and slowly move on to the full day fasting. When I say full day, till evening. Evening, you break your fast with a liquid and then have fruits for dinner. And this is how you do once a week. And sharing some of the important tips around fasting. Well, what was I supposed to speak? Completely forgot. Today, something is absolutely wrong, right? Let me compose myself. Yes. Fasting. Don't forget that if you're unable to do for whatever reason, maybe you have done it for many weeks and it was working good. Some particular day it did not work, or you're feeling tired, or you're feeling like something else happening inside. Don't worry at all. Next time you can do it the way it was. But this time, if your body asks, relax, let go. Okay. So that is what was very important for me to share. And also, when I say tender coconut water, whenever you're unable to do, just be on tender coconut water. That's equally good. You're not taxing your gut at all, but is going to give you some amount of glucose, some amount of all the micronutrients, so that you don't feel jittery or you don't feel frustrated. Okay, on all those days when you can't, just switch over to tender coconut water that particular day, and you're doing quite a good job for yourself, right? Now let's move on to the element of air. And 9 rounds of minimum pranayama as early as possible in the day on an empty stomach. If you really can't do early in the morning, mid-morning or evening is also perfectly fine, but do it at least once a day. And when you do, slowly, deeply, keeping your mind and being aware of your breathing is what is the most important thing. Otherwise, probably you'll get some physical benefits, but if you want all the physiological and the mind benefits, you need to keep your mind along with it. And deep breathing through the day also is very, very important. Develop that habit of deep breathing all the time. Slowly it will happen. Now, probably we'll remember once in a way and start breathing. But it should become it should come to a place where normal natural breathing through the day also becomes deeper and longer. And what is important about pranayama is when you combine pranayama and asanas together, see, always what happens with body and mind is body asks something, mind asks something else. Body says salad, good for me. Mind says gulab jamun. So always they're in conflict. Always body wants something and mind wants something else. But when you do yoga and pranayama together religiously every single day in the right way, what happens is a miracle, I would say. The mind and body align themselves. Now the mind starts listening to what the body wants. And that is why I said it was a miracle. What I generally do with very difficult clients is they're not ready to do anything, but they think I'm going to solve their problems. And they reach me just because they are able to pay. Then I tell them, okay, give them simple Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama and say, see me after 1 month. They're surprised. They think I came to you for a diet consultation. You're talking about one pranayama and letting me go. They're happy because that's all they have to do and nothing more to do. They come back after a month and it becomes so easy for me to deal with them because the mind has started listening to the body also. It's very easy for me to make the changes what is required and necessary. So you will start observing this. Please observe all that what I'm talking about. This is my learning and experience with thousands of clients and my own personal experience. Why I'm sharing with you is for you to observe all of that. When is it happening? What's happening? Am I moving in the right direction? Right? So this is what I want you to look at when you do both yoga and pranayama. If there are people who still don't know what is yoga asanas or haven't done it, please catch hold of all the yoga teachers here in the group. There are so many in this group. Catch hold of them. Today, yoga has become something which was almost impossible before COVID. That was one thing which people said we can't teach online. Today, even yoga asanas are comfortably taught online. So if you don't have anybody around, please get in touch with a very good yoga teacher and learn. Don't learn in videos or something. Please have a teacher who will understand your needs and teach the right things in the right combination in the right way, with an individual attention of what you are capable of doing and how slowly to take that. Please make this a practice. I'm sure I've made you understand in the earlier sessions how important asanas are. Combine yoga asanas with pranayama and get this benefit where cravings and then want those addictions. I want this only, this way only. All of them drop off as you continue to do the yoga and pranayama. Coming to the fire element, once a day, whenever possible, both sides of the body, sun bath, and through the day, small bouts of exposure to the sun, even under the shade is perfectly fine. As many times as possible through the day is a great idea. And during the mild rising sun or the setting sun, sun gazing and slowly increasing the time of sun gazing is necessary. And just be with the time which is comfortable for you. Don't compare what I can do, what somebody else can do, what your neighbor can do. No, what is comfortable for you. Eyes are most delicate. Don't damage them. This is for doing good to yourself, not to make any kind of damage. Okay, so be slow, be gradual, and blink your eyes, close your eyes as and when you feel discomfort or you feel like closing your eyes. Don't force yourself. Another important thing you need to do while gazing the sun is, after you finish gazing the sun, rub your palm and put it in the shape of the cup on your eyes, close your eyes and relax. Okay, you have gazed something which is very bright. Now make it quite dark so that your eyes adjust before you open your eyes again. Then coming to the water, drinking just enough water is what is essential. And how to do that? Between the symptom of thirst and the color of urine, you can decide what is almost the right kind of amount of water which your body is seeking or wanting at that particular time, and drink just enough amount of water. I'm sure all of you remember your water therapies like the wet packs, the bucket immersion, or your hip bath, the spinal bath, and with whatever problems you have adopted those, I hope, and you're practicing it every day. Only if you practice everything, expect results. Otherwise, don't expect any kind of results. If you're doing everything only, every small thing adds towards your repair and healing. So everything is essential. If you think, I don't like this, I can't do this, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, or I can't do this much of effort, please don't complain if you can't heal yourself. Everything which is essential to keep ourselves healthy is what I am teaching, and it's important to adopt all of them. That's why I'm going slow. 1 or 2 or 3 things, small little things to be adopted every day, and keep pace with me. And coming to the mind, when in the element of water, today let's look at hate and love relationship with ourselves and with others. This is an important, very powerful clip. I found it very, very interesting when I saw it first. And I should definitely say, when I saw it first many, many years ago, it had a huge impact on me. And there was a huge inner transformation which happened inside me. And I started perceiving things around me, perceiving my relationships around me in a different manner. So I invite all of you to, be with me and listen to the video. Each one of us will take away different things because we are at different stages of our lives. We understand different things depending on what we have gone through in lives. So each one of us will always take away something different. So don't worry, whatever is essential for you at this point of time is what universe presents to you. So see what best, where you can adopt things and keep on adopting it.
So the majority of people think that there's a perpetrator out there, they're some innocent victim of some event. But the real truth is that there's nothing there except a misperception. I had a lovely lady who was an Israeli leader, and I had on the opposite side of the table a Palestinian leader just recently.
Wow, holy wow.
And the Israeli leader was charged at the person across the desk there. And I was to mediate this. And she said, Dr. DeMartini, do you believe in absolute evil? And I said, absolutely not. And she said, well, I do. And I said, well, that's probably why you're having difficulty making resolutions. Give me an individual that you think represents that. And she's looking across at the table and she basically doesn't say his name, but I have one. And I said, great. Now, what specific trait, action does this individual display in your perception that you resent and you despise, that you think is absolute evil? And she said, well, intolerance. And she's not able to see that she's being intolerant at that moment.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, great. So intolerance. Now go to a moment where and when you perceive yourself displaying or demonstrating this particular trait that you despise most, which is intolerance. I said, I never do that. I'm always tolerant. Right now you're demonstrating intolerance. So let's not distort our reality. Let's go and identify them. She came up with 38 examples of where she was intolerant until she was humbled. And when she was humbled, her judgments calmed a bit. I said, now go to a moment where when this individual that you were judging was intolerant, in that moment, how did it benefit you? It didn't. It was bad. No, you're choosing to see only the downsides. What's the upsides? Everything has two sides. What's the upsides to it? I can't see it. I said, that means you stopped looking. Let's look again. And we looked and we looked and we found 31 different things over the next 2 hours. It took 2 hours to go through this exercise. And 31 different benefits that until she started having tears of gratitude in her eyes for the man sitting across the table. And she realized that her career was based on that man. Without that man, there's no career, there's no followers. And she all of a sudden realized that the very thing that she loves doing that gives her power and influence, the drive and determination, her studies, her opportunities, the way she raised her children, the impact she's had on society, all came from that. And I had to educate her about her perceptions because what she was doing is wanting the other person to abide by her rules in order to make peace. And of course, they were on the other side wanting to do the same thing. And so there was stalemates. Until you can actually see the reflection, have reflective awareness where the seer, the seeing, and the seen are the same, you can't transcend those conflicts. So she calmed down. She was tear-jerked by the process, and she had her heart open and realized that this very, very conflict may be based on it. And then she had another fear. She had a fear of what would happen if all of a sudden her other followers didn't understand this, and she would lose her followers. And I put her in a conundrum. I said, what are you dedicated to? Having a bunch of followers and lying about what your real mission is, or wanting to resolve this conflict? And she had to face the truth about her own conflict. She says, I really realize that I'm now confronted by what I really, truly trying to do here. I said, so do you want to resolve the conflict and educate your followers on what's possible? Or do you want to be seen with pride in front of your followers and keep perpetuating this illusion? Which would you prefer?
Wow.
Well, there was a great Greek philosopher named Epictetus who said, at first, we blame others. Then as we evolve a little further, we start blaming ourselves. And then when we finally become awake and we realize there's nothing to blame.
Right? Wasn't that beautiful? So what I suggest you all to do is, any time of the day when you have a few minutes, look at your day. What went wrong, or what you think was wrong or shouldn't have happened. Start writing it down. You thought it was not right. You thought that shouldn't have happened, but take the same incident, take the same person and start writing that event. What did you learn from that? What was that which good happened from that? There will emerge so many things which are positive and we can learn. And this, what was negative, what little thing happened, will actually dissolve. You're not suppressing, you're dissolving it. And then you emerge positive. And that's how every day when you look at everything which was not right and look at what was the right thing, even in that, when every event, if you start looking at it, life starts becoming more beautiful. With that, let me move on to the element earth. Coming to element earth, we discussed all about carbohydrates till the last session. And we understood that any carbohydrate with fiber is healthy. Carbohydrate without fiber is unhealthy. That's all, as simple as that. That was the only sentence we understood and learned in the whole of what we did these many hours. So finally, it boils down to three things. Grains. Choose whole grains. Process them the least, even in your kitchen. Second, lot of vegetables and green leafy vegetables, both raw and cooked, every meal. Lots of fruit to the extent of 500 grams, which we will be able to accommodate in one single meal at the breakfast, because this is the time when body wants something very light, wants something which is full of nutrients, and this suits the bill perfectly right. So this is what we learned. Of course, we learned a lot of rules around how to keep it healthy, how to keep it whole. But finally, this is all we learned. Switch to whole grains. Every meal should have one whole grain. Every meal should have a lot of vegetables cooked in any form you want. Keep the skin on. Lot of green leafy vegetables, some kind of salad, and breakfast is going to become fruits. And I did not see many fruit plates today morning in the breakfast. Let's come to it at the end of the session. But that's exactly what you need to be adopting from what we have learned till now. Now let's go ahead with the next learning of the topic of protein. Protein in Greek is called protease, and it simply means the most important, the prime important. And from then till today, it has been considered the most important. And in the early 18th century is when protein was discovered. And sadly, till almost to the end of 18th century, they did not know that protein was present also in plants, forgetting that the largest, strongest animals which walk on earth got their proteins from the plants, not even plants, just the grass, right? What do elephants, giraffes, hippopotamus, cows, bulls, horses, all of that eat? They eat plants, they eat grass. How are they so huge? Why are they so fat? Why are they so tall? Why are they so strong? How can they run so fast if they don't get enough protein? Where are they getting their proteins from? If plants do not have proteins, plants are the primary source of protein. Even when animals consume, other animals, the carnivores, they consume the animals which consume the plants, which primarily get proteins from the plants. So basically, all animals do get their proteins from plants. Yes. Now going ahead, let's understand some basic facts about proteins. Like carbohydrates, proteins also are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. I'm sure all of you remember carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. We learned exactly like that. Even proteins are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The only difference between them is proteins also have a nitrogen group. Sometimes they can have a sulfur group also. Like carbohydrates, every gram of protein gives us 4 calories or 4 kilocalories of energy. Carbohydrates also give us 4 kilocalories of energy, and proteins also give us 4 kilocalories of energy. Now, you know and understand when I say carbohydrates are made up of sugars, right? Carbohydrates are made up of glucose, fructose, and galactose. We learned that. Similarly, proteins are made up of something called amino acids. I repeat, proteins are made up of something called amino acids. Or I should say the other way around, amino acids are the simplest or the single units of proteins. Again, let me relate it to the wall. If I say wall is made up of bricks, or the bricks are the single units of the wall, similarly, proteins are made up of amino acids, or amino acids are the single units of proteins. Hope this much is very clear. I can see Kanika, Akshay, and Chandrakanta. Chandrakanta, if you can switch on the camera, that'll be nice. And can all of you tell me if you have understood this much, Kanika, Akshay? Great. Thank you so much. Right. So if I say proteins are made up of amino acids.
I'm having some issue with my camera, so I'm not able to
Sorry?
off. I don't know, it's getting off by again and again.
Who's this?
I'm Chandra, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So you're
So I'm having some issue with my camera.
okay.
So again and again it's getting off.
Okay. Ashleka, is there any way? I don't know. Is there any way of getting somebody else on my screen other than Chandrakanta so that I can see people?
I don't think so. There is any other way.
If
So
someone will raise their hand, they will be on the top.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And people who have switched on your cameras, raise your hands. Thank you, Amrita. Yeah, okay, Kushbu. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Meeta. Because when I see people, it makes sense to me. I'm talking to people. That's all. And can you pin me also, Ashleka? Otherwise, I don't know if I'm able to. Okay. Yes, great. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, amino acids. Amino acids are arranged one beside the other in different fashions so that it makes up a protein. Let me give you the example, or let me show you the structure of an amino acid. This is the structure of an amino acid. I told you it is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, right? And it also has an amino group, a nitrogen group. Okay, this is the structure of a single amino acid. Now, such amino acids are placed one beside the other, one beside the other, one beside the other in hundreds and thousands to make up the larger proteins or the complex protein. One of the simplest structure of proteins looks like this, like a chain of beads, one beside the other, if each one is called an amino acid. Okay, this is the simplest. Now we can have many chains. They can be intertwined. They can have different shapes. They can be in multiple ways. That is what gives the complexity of the protein. But let's not get into it. This is good enough to understand that proteins are made up of amino acids. How many amino acids are there? There are only 20 amino acids in nature. Only 20. These 20 permutations and combination make up thousands of protein, complex protein present in the nature. Okay. And 10 of them are called essential amino acids. Why? Because our bodies are not capable of making these 10 amino acids inside our body. They need to be given through the food. That is why they are called essential amino acids. The other 10 are called non-essential amino acids. That doesn't in any way mean that they're not essential. They're absolutely essential, but they can be made inside our body. We are capable of making these 10, and that is why they're called non-essential amino acids. Hope you've all got it. Kushbu, Akshay, I depend on you to say yes or no. Yes. Okay. Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Okay. Among these 10 essential amino acids, only when we are younger, we need all the 10. But as we grow older, body is capable of making another 2 more. So finally, as adults, we need only 8 coming from the food, and other 12 body becomes capable of making it on its own when you provide all of the amino acids. Okay, the essential amino acids, I meant to say. So hope you understood all about the amino acids now.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's look at the digestion very quickly and in a simple way. Digestion of these proteins. We looked in very great detail during carbohydrates. Now, in the mouth, no protein digestion will happen because we don't have acidic environment. You all know we have alkaline environment. Saliva is alkaline. It creates alkaline environment inside the mouth. So protein does not get broken down. Protein does not get digested in the mouth. Why? Because the enzyme which is used for breaking down protein needs an acid medium to get activated. That is why it cannot work in the mouth. Now, all that food you chewed, if you chewed properly, became the right concoction, became softer, became simpler, and this is transferred into the stomach. Stomach lining cells produce hydrochloric acid, which is a very, very rich acid. And in the medium of this acid, pepsin, an enzyme which breaks down protein, gets activated, and it starts breaking down huge chains of proteins into smaller bits. After this, it gets into the small intestine, and at the beginning of the small intestine, at the duodenum, the intestinal secretions, the pancreatic secretions are all poured in, and both of them have many more enzymes to break down the short chains of protein into even more shorter. Some of them become simple amino acids. Some of them become small protein bits called peptides in the small intestine. And after this, they get absorbed in the cells of the small intestine, intestinal cells, the lining cells of the intestine. And inside this lining cells, the small peptides are further broken down to amino acids. Now, everything, the big complex chains of proteins are finally broken down to single amino acids. And these single amino acids are capable of getting into the bloodstream from the small intestine. Only amino acids can enter into the bloodstream. If there are 2 amino acids together also, they are large enough and they cannot enter into the bloodstream. So they have to be broken down to single amino acids. Remember, in the blood, they travel to the site of wherever body needs whatever, supply it, and all that work protein needs to do happens at the target sites. This is how the food we eat, the protein present in the food we eat, gets broken down in our system. Now, there could be chances where this protein did not get broken down to its single amino acids. What are some of the ways? Maybe you did not have enough hydrochloric acid inside your stomach, and so it did not get broken down completely. Or it was very weak and it did not get broken down properly. You have a bad habit of eating very quickly without proper chewing, then it can happen. Or you have a habit of eating junk. Most of the time, processed factory made foods without any fiber, which needs to get out, which doesn't need time at all in the stomach, right? It needs to get out of the stomach. So it is very quick removal from the stomach. And so many, many reasons, some of the proteins do not get broken down at all in the sense of completely. If they are not broken down completely, maybe small bits or something, they need to be thrown out of the body. So they are sent to the large intestine and they're thrown out of the body. This is what happens to all the proteins which we eat in the food. Now we are dealing with nutrients separately, and I'm talking about it separately. But this is not what happens inside the body. Everything happens together because all food have all the nutrients together. So carbohydrate also is breaking down, protein is also breaking down, everything is breaking down. You should always remember, right? So with that, let's move ahead. Let's look at the functions of protein. What does it do in our system? Why do we need proteins? The very first and most important function of protein is growth and development. What is growth? I was one cell, then I became two cells. Just from two cells, every cell, every tissue, every organ system developed into different functions and into different ways of doing things in our body, right? So growth and development, both, this is what I meant by development, from two cells to whatever I am today. And what is growth? I was 2 kgs or 2.5 kgs when I was born. And today I'm 60 kgs, 70 kgs, 100 kgs. So how did it happen? Both growth and development basically is based on protein. The protein is what helped us grow and develop to whatever we are. And the next most important function of protein is repair, replacement, and rejuvenation. Every single day, thousands of cells die inside our body, different kinds of cells. All of them finish their period of working and they die. They need to be replaced. So many things break down inside our body. They all need to be repaired and replaced. So all of that is protein in nature. And so protein helps us do most of these functions. Regulation of the body processes. Why? Whatever happens inside, we need protein for that, because all our enzymes are made up of protein. All hormones are made up of protein. So when any process happens inside our body involving these enzymes or juices or hormones, we need protein. Otherwise, it can't work, right? So enzymes, hormones, digestive juices, all of these are made up of proteins. Our antibodies are made up of protein. So if our immune system has to work properly, we need the right balance of proteins. Transportation of nutrients and drugs, the hemoglobin, the transfers oxygen, nutrients are transferred. All of these needs proteins. And finally, it also supplies energy. Why does it supply energy? I'm sure you remember the structure of the amino acid. It has carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. I told you, right? Let me go back to that. Right. See, if I split it here, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, it's the same as carbohydrate, right? So if I split it here, the body can use this carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and create energy, just like it used up carbohydrate. Now what happens to this amino group or the nitrogen group is very interesting. Now, body has a way to store excess carbohydrate. If I eat, guys, all of you have disappeared again. People who are open, who are still, yeah, thanks, Mita. Others, yeah, thanks, Achal. I want people who are Ready and open your cameras to be around with me, please. Yeah. So, body has a way of storing excess carbohydrates. If I eat more than required carbohydrates, some of it is in the blood, which is what is supplying me energy constantly. Some of it gets turned into glycogen and is stored in my muscle cells. When the blood sugars are over, or when I'm doing my physical activity, it will get broken down and start supplying me glucose. Some of it is stored as glycogen in the liver. And if I eat more than what can be stored in all of these places, it gets converted to fat and it is stored in the specialized cells called adipose cells or adipose tissues. And if I eat excess fat more than what my body requires, it goes and gets deposited in the cells, just like this fats did. But what happens to proteins? There is no way our body can store proteins. If I eat excess protein, even a single gram of excess protein, what body does is break down, just like I told you now, use that part of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen to produce energy. If that energy is also excess than what my body needs, then it converts that energy into fat and stores it. And this amino group is left behind. Now, this is in the liver, and this is called ammonia. Ammonia is very, very toxic to the body. So, liver wants to get rid of it as soon as possible. Now, it is turned into urea and sent to the kidneys. It is less toxic than ammonia, but definitely toxic and needs to be thrown out of the body, and is thrown out of the body in the form of urine. Clear with all this? Meeta, Kushbu, Anchal, Amrita. Great. Thanks. That is why now do you understand that eating excess protein is very, very dangerous. Protein is very important. Almost 15 to 16% of our body is made up of protein. 16% of our body mass is protein in nature. We need protein for everything happening inside our body. And yet, we can't handle excess protein. Excess protein than necessary for my body is absolutely harmful. Why? It is a toll on the liver. It is a toll on the kidney. Both these excretory organs will have to overwork to throw this ammonia and urea out. And that is where they get tired. They get kind of, overwhelmed. And after many, many years, long years of this kind of work, they start giving up. Long time ago, I had a young boy sitting in front of me. He told me he has ESRD. What is ESRD? I generally share this example standard with every course because I can never forget this boy in my life. He said he had ESRD, end stage renal disorder. What does that mean? For some of you who don't understand, your kidneys have stopped working. They can no more work and dialysis is necessary. A machine has to do the job of the kidneys because his kidneys have stopped working. He looked very young, around 25, 28 years, and I was shocked to see why his kidneys have to stop working. What has he done for his kidneys to stop working? When I started taking 24-hour dietary call, what was he eating? Why was he eating? All of that. Finally, if I have to summarize in one sentence, what he said was, he's a gym trainer. So he has to have that kind of a body to show his customers. Otherwise, who's going to listen to him? Isn't it? And also his seniors, his education came from websites of the people. Which kind of people? People who sell supplements, right? So his understanding, he had perfect understanding, scientific understanding, but in a wrong way. Then he told me he ate 22 egg whites for breakfast. He ate 1 chicken for lunch. He ate chicken and 1 slice of bread for dinner. Why? That was what he understood. If he has to build his biceps, triceps, whatever, which I don't know, he has to eat that kind of protein, and his carbohydrate intake has to be the minimum. Why should carbohydrate be the minimum? Because every gram of carbohydrate to be stored inside our body needs 2 more grams of water to be stored along. It can't be stored as pure carbohydrate. It has an affinity with water, so it clings on to water. Every gram clings on to 2 more grams of water, and so every gram of carbohydrate inside the body will become 3 grams of weight inside the body. Do you understand why athletes or people who want to build muscles or people who are crazy about their gymming and things like that? You know, they eat the minimum carbohydrate so that they can bulk up their muscles. Why? Because they don't want water inside. That is why they start eating less carbohydrates. So he was eating 1 slice of bread only in the dinner. The rest of the day, he was eating just the animal source of protein. Yes, of course, he looked like a gym trainer. He had bulked muscles, but he had to compromise with his kidneys. And not long. He had done this for 4 or 5 years. And his kidneys had failed. His kidneys are not going to work anymore. He needs a donation of kidneys. And not that somebody will be ready to donate kidneys. And even if somebody is ready to donate, it will, accommodate in your body. Rest of your life, you're struggling and suffering to just be alive. And forget about the money you're going to spend. I'm talking about a long time back. So that time, even the dialysis centers were not these many, and the dialysis was not this cheaper also. Just imagine his life going ahead. So this is what is going to happen if you increase excess protein for a longer period of time. So be aware. Now that we have understood, protein is important, but excess is also equally dangerous. How much of protein to eat is the next question. Obvious question, right? So let's answer that question. Before answering that question, let me tell you what is the general recommendation. Please do not write down these recommendations, what you see on the screen. I'm just trying to help you understand. Okay, thanks. The RDA in India is around 15 to 20% of the total calorie intake of the day. 15 to 20% of total calorie for Indians, ICMR suggests. Even if I take the minimum, the 15%, okay, in a standard 2000 kilocalorie diet, most of Indians, men eat around 2000 calories in a day, and women eat around 1800 kilocalories in a day is a standard diet we look at. Okay, if I look at this 2000 kilocalorie diet, 15% of 2000 is 300. Look at the left side of your screens. Okay, this is what I'm trying to explain, which is 300 calories. And you know, every gram of protein gives you 4 kilocalories. So I have to divide it by 4, right? So this is what is the amount of protein I need per day. So what does Indian recommendations say? Around 75 grams of protein per day is what is necessary for an adult. Okay. Now let's look at international prescriptions. USDA. What is USDA? United States Department of Agriculture, which is the department or the body which gives recommendations for the whole of the world, goes in a huge, scale or the range. It says anywhere between 10% to 35% is what you will need. And different countries adopt anywhere between this 10 to 35, depending on what they think or what their experts or the scientific body talks about. Each country has different, norms. Now, coming to the strength training, or let's say sports, this is what is the recommendation. The recommendation for strength, and all of you keep your, mics off, only your cameras on, please. The recommendation for strength and endurance athletes ranges from 1.2 to a maximum of 2 grams per kilogram. Our body weight per kilogram, this is what is the recommendation. And for strength athletes, it is 1.2 to 1.5 gram per kg body weight. For endurance athletes, it's 1.5 grams per kg body weight. When I'm talking in the terms of kg body weight, it is all a thumb rule we nutritionists use generally. And what does research show? That consuming more protein than this serves no benefit and may be harmful in the long run. The scientific bodies themselves are saying this much. I hope nobody has made a note of it. Later on, someday when you open it and see this and start following this, I'm not responsible, right? Okay. Now, what made us come to this conclusion is what I want to get into. Okay, these are general recommendations in India and all over the world. But how did they come to this conclusion is our next question to address. Let me explain in simple terms before I go on to tell you the scientific data. Now, what did the scientists early do where we did not have any recommendations? The first time scientists had to come up with what is the right amount for human beings. What do you think they did? All of the world, they took samples of people and started feeding them protein-rich foods. And they started going on reducing the amount of protein they were giving to these groups and said, let's observe these groups of people all over the world and see when they actually start developing symptoms of deficiency. Okay. When they develop deficiency symptoms is when we know, okay, we can't go below this, correct? So they went on experimenting. They lowered, and come to a point where people started developing deficiency symptoms, protein energy deficiency. Then they said, okay, we can't go lower than this. This is the minimum humanity needs, the amount of protein, right? Hope you understood this much. Shall I go ahead? Great. Let me read it for you. Don't go to the left side of the screen. I am reading the white part of my screen. This is called the estimated average requirement of all the human beings. Estimated average requirement, or EAR, for all adults was around 4 to 5% of total calories per day. Okay. It was just 4 to 5% calories per day where people started developing deficiency. So the minimum they said was we need 4 to 5 grams. But they had to ensure that they had not left out anybody. Minimum if you give, they said just to be on the safer side, we will double it. That is 8 to 10%. Okay. So what is the minimum required? 4 to 5%. But the scientists said, let us be careful. Let us double it, 8 to 10%, so that nobody in the world gets anything less than this, so that they become deficient. So that is where they fixed 8 to 10% of calories from should come from protein in a day. What is this 8 to 10%? Let's come to the left side of the screen. 5% of, I am taking the maximum, okay. 5% of 2000 calories is 100, divided it by 4, it is 25 grams, 5%. Double it, it became 10%, 3 grams. Can you all please mute yourself? Thank you. So, all we need is 50 grams of protein in a day. If I have to convert into my thumb rule, 0.8 grams of protein per kg body weight. So what you need to remember, what you need to understand is only this much. In general, all of us as adults need around 50 grams of protein per day. If you want the thumb rule, 0.8 grams of protein per kg body weight. What is this kg body weight? It is the ideal body weight, not whatever you are. If you are 100 kgs, you will not calculate it for 100 kgs. You will calculate for your ideal body weight, which I told you how to calculate during obesity lecture, right? You all remember? You take your height in centimeters and subtract 100. That's your ideal body weight. That is what your ideal body weight should be, around that. And now you will calculate 0.8 into that ideal body weight of yours. And that is the amount of protein you need per day. Take a minute, calculate, and know your body's protein requirement.
What if I calculator put? Calculator put.
Who is this still not muted? Ashleka, find the person and please send them a personal
Yes,
message.
I'm checking.
Yeah.
Height is 165, 170 cm.
Did you all get your ideal body weight? Then did you all calculate the amount of protein required by yourself? Right? Okay. So now, shall we see, are we getting this much of protein? Shall we see that? Okay. Now, what you see on the left side of your screen is a standard recommendation. I've taken out one sheet from the nutrition textbook. Okay. What each of the food groups give different nutrients is what this page is telling us. Let me explain. See, this column has the food groups. What are the food groups? We all saw, right? Our grains, that is cereals and millets, and then pulses and grams, and then egg, then the animal products, then the milk and the dairy, then roots and tubers, green leafy vegetables, other vegetables, fruits, sugars, oils and fats. So these are all the different foods we eat, right? This is generally we learn in our courses, right? This is what a nutritionist uses. She'll not go to rice, the green gram dal, brinjal, potato. We don't go to specific, grains or dals or vegetables. We generalize it so that it becomes easy for us to calculate. This is how we generally work. Okay. Now, look at the amount of cereal. This is the amount of cereal. 30 grams of wheat flour, let's say. 30 grams of wheat flour, which will generally make one medium-sized roti. Okay. 30 grams of flour or one roti. What will it give me? 100 calories of energy, 3 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbohydrate, 0.8, let's say 1 gram of fat. Clear? I don't want you to understand. I don't want you to remember none of it. Just to make yourself clear about what I'm speaking, I'm making you understand, right? So all my grains give me 3 grams of protein. Clear? Every grain will give me minimum 3 grams of protein. All my grams and dals will give me 6 grams of protein. Similarly, all of this gives me this much amount of proteins. Clear? Don't have to worry about the numbers. Now, come to the right-hand side. I told you, let me take only one meal. In one meal, all of us are capable of eating 2 rotis. Correct? When I say 2 rotis, 60 grams of cereal, that is wheat flour. Correct? 60 grams of wheat flour gives me 6 grams of protein. Right? That's exactly what I've written here. If I eat minimum 2 rotis, I get 6 grams of protein. Okay. Now, if I add, what do I add? Either sambar or dal or a gram preparation, chana, rajma, whatever you want to add, grams or dals, 1 cup cooked gram or dal. If I take that is 30 grams. 1 handful of dry dal or gram, if I take and cook, I will get 1 good katori of cooked gram or dal. That will give me 6 grams of protein. That's exactly what I've written here. Okay. Then 2 servings of vegetables, whatever you want. You take, roots and tubers, green leafy vegetables, other vegetables, take whatever you want. We have decided we are going to eat large quantities of vegetables, at least 200 grams in a meal, 100 grams raw, 100 grams cooked, right? This is where all those calculations, which I told you 500 grams comes into picture. All the thought has gone in here. That is why I said 500 grams. So break it down to each meal, minimum 200 grams of vegetables, 100 grams of cooked vegetable, 100 grams of uncooked raw vegetables. Okay. Which will give me 4 grams of protein. Then 1 serving of green leafy vegetables, 100 grams. Can we not use 100 grams of green leafy vegetables per person in 3 meals or even 2 meals if we are considering fruit meal for breakfast, lunch and dinner? 50 grams in lunch, 50 grams in dinner. That's all, as simple as that, right? How much will it give me? 2 grams or 4 grams of this one, protein, right? So how much did it come up to? Around 20 grams of protein in 1 meal. If I multiply into 3, I got 60 grams of protein. Are we getting enough protein? Do you understand? All I needed on an everyday basis was 50 grams of protein. And I'm talking about minimum everywhere. You must be eating more than that. You will get more than that. You're getting a minimum of 60 grams of protein. You don't have to worry at all. Now, do you have to calculate? Do you have to sit and look at? No. Generalize things for yourself. Every day, every meal, 1 cup of either gram or dal in any preparation you want. That is all you need. You don't have to calculate protein. Clear? You don't need any addition, any multiplication. All you need to understand is every meal. Forget about the fruit meal. Even when you include, what does a fruit meal give you? Good amount, 500 grams of edible portion of fruits with coconut or avocado will generally give you around 12 to 15 grams of protein. So you will get enough. Don't worry, even under 1 fruit meal and 2 cooked meals, you will still get your right amount of proteins. Okay. Now, according to the nutrition facts, whereas fruits here, look at fruits. 1 serving of fruits, which is 100 grams. What is 100 grams? 1 medium-sized orange, 1 medium-sized apple, 1 medium-sized guava. What does it give you? 0 protein. No protein. But the fact is, the fruit is a live produce. It is alive. Fruit is alive. It has enzymes. What are enzymes made up of? We just now studied. Unmute. Meeta, unmute and tell me.
Amino acids.
Amino acids.
Absolutely, absolutely. They are made up of amino acids. Even when nutrition books label it as no proteins, fruits do contain good amount of proteins. They are not rich in proteins. They do have good amount of proteins and in their simplest form. Okay, so they are very healthy proteins coming from fruits also. There are many fruitarians all over the world who don't eat anything other than fruits, nothing other than fruits. And I know of athletes also who are just only on fruits. They build their muscles, they train themselves, they achieve their goals. So what are you and me? When athletes can do, we don't have anything other than these 2 fingers to exercise most of the days. What else do we want? Even the protein we eat could become excess. So don't worry too much about proteins is what I'm trying to drill into your heads. Right? Now, let me drill a little more. All of you, most of you are ladies here. I'm glad. All the men, please tolerate us for next 10 minutes. All of you, when you go to a goldsmith, say, I have an earring which is 3 grams, let's say. Okay. I have a gold earring, which is 3 grams. I am bored of this earring. I want to change it. I go to a goldsmith and tell him, change a design for me, but I don't have money. I'll give you this 3 grams gold. You make another earring for me. He will show me either physical earrings or show me in a book. I'll say, okay, I want this particular design. He will say, okay, that is also 3 grams. Give it. I'll make it for you. I gave 3 grams. He's making 3 gram jewelry for me. What else does he ask, ladies?
Making
Unmute.
Making charges.
Making
There's
charges.
one more component. What is that?
Extra gold.
Wastage.
Wastage.
Yeah, exactly.
Wastage.
There are only 2 components he'll ask for. I gave you 3 grams and you will get, you are making 3 grams earring. If he says, give me 1 more gram, you'll slap him. 1 more gram of gold? No, you are very clever there, correct? He can't. Why? When he dissolves this 3 grams of gold, he will lose few milligrams. That is wastage. When he's making it, he will lose a few milligrams. He can't get exact 3 milligrams, right? So he'll lose there also few milligrams. That is what he's charging you for. Few milligrams of wastage, few milligrams while making, and the skill and time he is putting in, right? This is all he's going to charge because you have given the amount of gold and asking the same amount of gold. If he asks you anything more, you're going to kill the guy. What happens with our protein? Protein is gold for the body. It doesn't throw it off. Let's say today some enzymes died in my body. They need to be replaced. Or some muscles broke down in my body and they need to be rebuilt. What happens to all that which has died or what has broken down? They excreted in the stool? No. They all get broken down to their respective amino acids and they are stored in something called amino acid pool. There is no physical amino acid like this is a pool that is around there and the amino acids are sitting there. No, it is running around in the bloodstream and they're all there inside our body. Whatever breaks down, which is protein in nature inside our body, will still be inside the body only. But while they were breaking down, and while they are getting made up into something else, some amount of protein is lost. That is the lost protein which we need to replace on a daily basis from our food, which is very, very little. Can you now understand that we don't need too much of proteins? Yeah, that replacement, that very little is all we need. And also being adults. Me and you are all adults. I'm sure all of us here are adults in this group. Growth development is completely over for all of us. Is there anybody who says, I still need to grow? You only can grow like this. You can't grow in anywhere else. And you don't want to grow this way, I'm sure. Right? So growth development for adults is over. All we need on a daily basis is repair, replacement, rejuvenation. And for that, we need very, very little proteins. And whatever is already there in the body will always stay inside the body. It is not thrown out of the body. Be clear of this. And let me give you one more example so that it becomes concrete inside your mind. The maximum amount of growth development happens in the first year after birth. Will you agree with me? Right? Lot of things are happening inside the infant. Everything is fiercely, quickly developing and the baby is growing, right? This is the time when the baby needs the maximum amount of protein. Agree? Do you know what is the amount of protein present in the mother's milk? 1%. 1%. If nature has decided the baby needs 1% of proteins when it has the most important phase of growth and development, what are we talking about? Right? So don't be crazy, obsessed with protein needs and your protein eating. All we need is just a katori or a cup of dal or sambar or chana or rajma, whatever you want. 1 cup in 2 meals is all we need on a daily basis. Clear? All of you? Reena, I can see Reena now. Reena, are you clear? Achal, are you clear? Yes, wonderful. Shall we go ahead? I wanted to go as slowly as possible till here so that everybody in the group has understood. Now I can go quickly. Now look at this. Let me read this for you. The recent research says an average person in the world today consumes anything between 90 to 135 grams of protein per day. Look at the amount of problem for the liver and the kidneys. And what are your kidneys going to say? Everybody almost reaching around 55, 60 years today has a problem with creatinine, has a problem with uric acid, has a problem with urea, has a problem with kidney function. Why? For that 45, 50 years, you have eaten like this, huge amount of proteins, where kidney has got tired and kidney is giving up. Okay, be careful. Let's go ahead. So why this obsession then? Why is the media, why are doctors, why are dietitians, why a common man always talking about protein, protein, protein? Because protein sells. Can I sell carrot and make money out of it? Absolutely no. Who's going to buy? Right? The animal industry, egg industry, milk industry, dairy industry, supplement industry, nutraceutical industries, not to mention the medical industry finally, when we get sick. And today, even the nut industry, because they're competing with all of these and telling us nuts are very healthy, nuts are important, you will die without nuts, all kinds of nuts they're promoting, right? When these kinds of big, huge industries are promoting them and trying to make money out of me and you, how can we stop the sale of protein? They will definitely influence and tell us proteins are very important. Proteins are the most important nutrients. You need to have a huge amount of proteins. They're so huge that they can dictate terms to the governments. So they're not going to change their rules. And we need to play our games based on our clear understanding. Right? So then, where do I get my proteins from is the next question. All green leafy vegetables, whatever looks green right in front of you, all green leafy vegetables are very rich in proteins. They have the highest percentage of proteins for calories, green leafy vegetables. Then all your dals, all your grams, even the fresh ones, your fresh or frozen peas, or your hyacinth beans, you know, aurekai in South India, we're all very familiar, especially in Bangalore. We can't live without aurekai dish in the season of aurekai, right? So everything, togrikai, aurekai, batani, all of it, when they come in the fresh in the season, all of them have huge amounts of protein. All are nuts. When I say nuts, don't get confused with dry fruits. Nuts are almonds, cashews, pistas, walnuts, and things like that. Dry fruits are dates, figs, raisins, plums, prunes, and things like that. So all are nuts. And seeds. What are seeds? Pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, what else? All kinds of seeds. All of them, till all of them have a lot of protein. Okay, so are we not using all of these in our daily, everyday dishes? Every recipe demands one of them, isn't it? This is how you need to bring in protein into your diets. Have I not been mentioning green leafy vegetables every meal, both raw and cooked, both raw and cooked? Why? Not just proteins. It has everything. So important to give us health. So lots of greens in both the cooked meals, lunch and dinner, in raw and cooked form. And 1 cup of dal or gram, whatever you like, whatever is your way of cooking, whatever dishes you make, whatever recipes you use. And there is the end of the matter. Why not nuts? Why not seeds? Let's discuss more about them in the section of fats. But right now, if you think you want me to explain, I would say some of them into your special dishes like your payasam, kheer, halwas, or pongal or khichdi. Some special dishes when you make, use your seeds and nuts in small quantities. If you have children, growing children, or pregnant women, or lactating women in your families, they need a little more. So start checking what is the extra amount a pregnant lady needs, a lactating lady needs, or 18-year-old needs, a 6-year-old needs, and then look at nutrition textbooks. Absolutely no. Their hunger is increased. A child who is growing has huge amount of hunger. Do you agree? All of you have children. Do you know that they eat more than what you can eat? Right? Then why the hell are we worried? When they eat more, if your plate is balanced, they get more dal, more grams, and they get more proteins. That's it. Right? If you have such special age groups or special physiological need groups in your family, increase by, give them nuts and seeds on an everyday basis. Maybe a handful of nuts and seeds, soak them and give them. Maybe if your children, they have that, what is that, mid-morning breaks in school, give them dry fruits and nuts, 1 handful, so that you have increased their protein requirement. I mean, needs, you have met the needs of their increased requirements. Give them a cup of dal in every meal, dal or gram preparation. That's all. You don't worry. If they're more hungry, they'll eat 1 more cup. That's it. There is no necessary to calculate. Break your head over it and kill them eating more and more proteins. It's very, very important to eat lesser, but because they are at the growing stage, they need to get enough also. Their hunger is going to dictate what they eat, but your job is to balance your plate. What is to balance your plate? Have all the 4 parts in the plate. If you have all the 4 parts, there is a holistic, complete growth and development in the child or in the fetus, or a lactating mother can supply good amount of good quality milk. Clear? Right. Now, I have not yet completed this slide, right? I went into more of it without completing. Now, proteins also come from animal sources. Everything which comes from animals, right from milk products, curd, buttermilk, ghee, butter, cheese, paneer, all of it. And the seafoods, including starting from the fish, then eggs, all kinds, meat, chicken, everything, all of this give us protein. Then what's the difference between that and this? The only difference is all plant sources, each plant source does not have all the essential amino acids, but an animal source of protein, each one of them are complete. They have all the essential amino acids. That's the only difference between this protein and that protein. Let me repeat. All the animal sources, each one of them, if you take eggs, all the essential amino acids are there. You take milk, all the essential amino acids are there. But if I take green gram dal, maybe 1 is missing, 2 are missing, or they're present but in lesser quantities than required by our body. Or if I take almonds, there is 1 missing. You understand what I'm trying to say? So plant sources, each one of them do not have all the essential amino acids. Does that mean that vegetarians or people who are on completely plant foods do not get all essential amino acids? Absolutely no. Why? We eat all of them. What was not there in the peas was supplied by almonds. What was not there in, say, your tuar dal was supplied by rice. What was not there here is supplied by another one. So if we eat a varied sources, varied dals, grams, nuts and seeds and green leafy vegetables, you get all the essential amino acids. This was a very important point. I hope all of you have understood. Reena, Amrita, and Achal, Meetha, great. Thanks. I will open up for questions. Don't worry at all. You can ask all your questions. I'm going to give a lot of time and stop in another 5-10 minutes and give you time. So don't worry at all. Okay? Because I can see only these four, I'm asking all these four people. So now let me give you one example. Look at the brilliance of our people. Look at all the traditional foods. Let me give you some examples of South India. What is, okay, before that, let me explain this one. What is there in a grain is not there in a dal. What is not there in a dal is present in a grain. Grain gram. Do you understand? What is missing here is present here. What is missing here is present here. Look at the combinations, our traditional combinations. Dosa, rice, dal. Rice generally has lysine missing and dal generally has methionine missing. So when you combine them, this is giving that and that is giving this, and they're complementing each other and becoming complete. Dosas, idlis, pongals, khichdis, everyday idli, everyday rice sambar, roti dal, khichdi. What are these? They're all a beautiful combination of a grain and a gram. Don't let go of your traditional ways of eating and living. Wherever you belong, whatever region you belong, go catch hold of your grandmothers. Get all their recipes. They are the wealth you can carry on for the next generation. Teach yourself and do them during your lifetime and pass it on to your children. I have clients in their 25, 26, 28 years. Girls come in. They don't have any clue in which direction the kitchen lies. Why? They're working. Equality with women. I'm sorry. This is not where we need to ask for equality. We need to know that we need to we are responsible for a family and we need to take care of the family. I don't mean a woman only has to take care of the family. It can be man or woman, whatever is convenient in your family, or both of you contribute. You need to know you have to set up a kitchen, cook in the kitchen and eat in the kitchen if you want to be healthy. Today, women are working. How can you expect a lady to take care 100% of the house, children and a full-time job? Taking care of the house and children itself is an overtime job, if you ask me. And on top of that, you want a full-time job? How can you do justice? You can't be fair anywhere, right? So it's very important to share work, or one of you should take care of the responsibility of cooking and buying. Only then the family can be healthy. If you say, I don't have time, I have to leave home at 7:30, reach the office. I have a spread of food in the office, I'll eat at office. Both husband and wife does this. What's going to become the health of the family, right? That's why we are going to dogs as a society. Each family is disintegrating and each family is unhealthy. The whole society is unhealthy because we don't know how to cook. It's very important. Please go back and talk to your aunts, grandmothers, mothers, and train yourself in your traditional recipes. Each one of them, wherever you go, north, south, east, or west, Indian recipes are complete, healthy, in their original form. Don't manipulate them. Okay, right. Now, as I said, every day use different dal or gram. Today, if I use tuar dal, what do? South Indians, everyday sambar, everyday tuar dal. What do you North Indians do? Everyday green gram dal. Right? No. That's not a great idea. We have to change them every day. One day make kutu, one day make sambar, one day make rasam, one day make dal, one day make chana, one day make rajma. Do different things. One day make paisam out of Bengal gram dal. Make different things. Use different dals, different grams. That is when we get all the essential amino acids is the first rule. What is the second rule? See, grams, you don't have to worry. All the grams come with their outer covering, the husk. But when it comes to dals, they split the gram, polish it, and remove the husk. This is where we get into trouble. Our fiber, the most important fiber, and the micronutrients are lost. So what do we do from now on? When we buy dals, we go to an organic shop or order from an organic online shop, all the dals with skin. Chilke ke saath, sippe sameta. Get your dals. Use different kinds of dals, different kinds of grams, and use all your dals with skin. Green gram dal with skin. I don't think I have it on my next slide. I'll come there, I'll tell you. But green gram dal with skin, urad with skin, masoor with skin, tuar with skin. Tuar gram dal you won't get with complete skin because it becomes bitter. So tuar dal, they generally partially leave it. But if you can source it from a village, you will get whole tuar also. So that also, but it's little difficult for cooking, wash it and soak it overnight. And then just like your rajma and chana, you have to soak it and cook it in the next day. But you can use all of them whole. This is how you will keep your fiber intact in your dals and grams, and also keep the micronutrients. So what is the next exercise for today? First one was whatever happens bad in the day, dissect it, look into it keenly and see what did I learn from this. There is something good which has come out of this also. What is it which came out? That's the first exercise you will do. And the second thing is change all your dals into the dals with the skin, with the husk, and start using all grams and dals. This is all is the exercise for today, right? So shall we open up for question answers? Before I answer your questions, I want to spend 10 minutes of today in asking questions. Ashleka, are you around? I'm going to stop my screen share.
Okay.
Where am I? Where did I go? I'm sorry. Okay. All of you, please switch on your videos. All of you. I want everybody, please.
So shall we start with the question answer?
No, wait. I'm just finding my list.
Okay.
I want 10 minutes for myself today. After that.
Okay.
Akriti, where's Akriti? Can you all keep your hands down? I want Akriti. Yes, Akriti. What did you eat for breakfast today?
For breakfast,
Hmm?
I had an apple and 2 eggs.
Okay. So what is the changes you're going to make?
I think I'll move towards, you said eating fruits for breakfast only. I think I need to make that change. Yeah.
Don't worry about the eggs. I have not yet spoken about the eggs. We'll speak about it in the next session. But for now, what are you going to make? Breakfast, only fruits. An egg and a fruit is not a great combination at all.
Okay.
It needs several hours to be broken down. Fruits need an hour and a half to get broken down. So you're not going to mix anything. Are you clear?
Got it.
Start with mixed fruits and slowly go to reducing the number of types of fruits. And finally, the goal is one type of fruit. Okay, clear? Right. Akshay, what did you eat for breakfast?
Ma'am, good evening. Banana, 2 bananas and chane ka sattu.
Okay, so what was the problem with that?
Problem was excess of protein I took.
Forget about excess of protein. The combination itself is bad. You can't eat fruits with anything else. Remember that. Okay? Fruit should be only fruits. I would definitely recommend eat only fruits for breakfast, at least till I finish the course. For next 1 week, can you promise me you'll eat fruits for breakfast?
Okay.
Experience what it means. Don't you want glowing skin? Don't you want good elimination? Don't you want good digestion? Don't you want a good shining skin on your body? Glowing eyes? You will all experience in 1 week only. And you might even probably lose a kilo of weight. Don't you want that?
Yes, surely, ma'am.
Then you want to adopt it also, right? You need to. Otherwise, it will not happen. If you keep
Correct.
seeing all else, everybody else's plate, it's not going to help you at any cost. So
Yeah.
from tomorrow, Akshay, you're going to eat only fruits for breakfast. Yes.
Right.
I'm not talking only to Akshay and Akriti. This is what I'm going to talk about. Each one of you, please change. Only fruits. Start with multiple fruits, slowly start bringing it to 1 or 2 or 3, and then final goal, when you're completely fine with it, only go to mono. With coconut or avocado. Why with coconut or avocado? Fruit is going to leave your stomach in a couple of hours and you'll start becoming hungry and start cursing me. I don't want anybody to curse me. That is why I want a little coconut or avocado so that it stays in the stomach for a little longer and gives you satiety till the next meal. And it also adds fiber. It also adds the fat, natural fat. What are there in the fruits? Carbohydrates, simplest form, glucose, fructose. Protein, simplest form, amino acids in the form of enzymes. Fats, very little. So we will add natural form of fat either in the form of coconut or avocado. Then there is no doubt that fruits are full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, fiber, and natural water. Is there anything, any other nutrient left which is not there in fruits? Anybody? Is there anything left? No. Fruits have every nutrient required by the body in its simplest form. You can't get a better breakfast. You can't get a better meal for that matter. This is much, much, much superior in quality with whatever you can eat. You can have the healthiest cooked meal on earth, but this fruit meal is more superior than the healthiest meal which is cooked. Clear? So all of us are going to eat fruit breakfast from tomorrow morning till I finish the course in 1 week. I'm going to go off next Monday. There'll be nobody to police you. There'll be nobody to ask you. Before that, I want you to get a glimpse of what I'm saying. Once you get a glimpse of what I'm saying, then it is your choice. If you want to be healthy, be healthy. If you don't want to, it's your choice. Right? Clear?
Right.
Okay. Now, let me pick up. Right. Naina? Who's Naina? Are you there? Not there? Naina is not there? Okay. Renuka?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Where are you? I can see you.
I'm just next to you, ma'am. In the screen.
Okay. Oh, I have spoken to you many times. No, you're not going to talk. Neeraj, can you tell me what did you eat for breakfast? What was the grain you ate for breakfast
Ma'am, I had a bowl of papayas.
today?
Just
Okay,
papaya.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for saying that. Then what was the grain you ate for lunch?
Lunch I had dal and brown.
I'm asking you, remember what I'm asking you. What is the grain you ate for lunch?
Okay. Red rice, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. Is it a whole grain?
Yeah, whole grain. Yes.
Why do you call it whole grain? I'm asking the wrong person.
Yeah, because the husk is intact.
Yeah. So all of you check your rice. Whoever has eaten rice, was it whole? Did it have the husk? Was it unpolished? If your answer is yes, you have eaten the right one. Let me catch all the men today. Vinod, what did you eat for lunch? What was the grain you ate for lunch? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Say millets.
Millets. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think millets were the right thing to choose?
See, there is a two requirement. One is, still I'm not very clear, but I'm just giving the doubt to you that wheat, has a gluten and it's not good for digestion. So I'm trying to move to different sort of grains.
You were there in all my classes?
Yeah.
So sad. I spoke 10 minutes about gluten and you're giving me this answer. I'm feeling so
no.
I'm so feeling left out,
No, let me finish, ma'am. So now I'm trying to change, and millet is one of the type of the food. Then I'm going to grain as well. So wheat as well. So it's like rotation. It's not like fixed once for all.
That is right. Okay. Millet also is a grain. Any millet is a grain. Wheat is a grain. You have to eat. Definitely eat millets. I am not asking you not to eat millets, but rotate them. Eat all the grains. What I'm basically asking you is, are you eating whole millet?
Yes.
No. How do you know? How do you so confidently say, yes, I ate a whole millet?
It's from the organic shop, so I assume that should be better.
Check with the guy. Is it 100% whole? Is it polished? Please check with the guy.
Madam, I have one issue. Around 11 o'clock, I'm fit. I need to eat something more because fruits is not good enough to meet the overall requirement.
Very important question. What did I tell when I said eat fruits for breakfast? I said have some liquid between your breakfast and lunch. It can be tender coconut water or it can be a herbal tea. What's a herbal tea? Herbal tea is made of some herb. You can take just coriander, you can take a mint, you can take ginger, you can take anything which is growing in your garden. Maybe hibiscus leaves, maybe jasmine flowers, or lemongrass, or go to an organic shop and buy tulsi tea leaves, or chamomile, or rosemary, or any of those, and make a tea for yourself. Okay. In the next session, I'm going to talk about coffees and teas and all of that, but you can get ready with that. In between breakfast and lunch, if you're feeling hungry, you can have a tender coconut water or a herbal tea so that you can bridge the gap between your breakfast and lunch. See, going ahead, like I don't need anything between my breakfast and lunch because for many years I've done this. So my body doesn't ask for it. My body has got settled with this. It doesn't want anything more, right? But you have started, at least some of you have started just now. So don't suffer. Don't do too much. Get something. Get some simple, healthy liquid. I don't want you to go and get a bottle of Coke or a glass of juice thinking it is healthy. No, fruit juice is not healthy on a daily basis. Absolutely no. We have discussed enough, right? So between your breakfast and lunch, get one tender coconut water. All of you are Indians. So you will definitely get a tender coconut water between breakfast and lunch till you settle down. Once you settle down, you don't need this. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any other men in the group? Other than Akshay, Vinod, and who else was this? I just caught hold of him. Neeraj. Other than these three, are there any other men? No problem, Neeraj? Only 3 men in our group? Wonderful. Okay. Now, Ashleka, let's get back to questions.
So Kanika has raised her hand. So Kanika, you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, Gauri ma'am. So today, like you said, one day of the week, follow fast. So today was one of the days that I didn't eat anything, not even water. And I'm okay. I'm not like exhausted or I'm not feeling weak, nothing of that. So because my body is used to fasting. It's not like, it's pretty okay. So I just want to know something about mixed dal because like you spoke a lot about having variety of grains. What about in one meal we have mixed dal, like, right? What dal?
See, whether it is mixed grain, mixed flours, all mixed millet flours, or mixed dals, mixed vegetables, mixed fruits, everything. Same rule. I want to generalize things so that it becomes easy for you to understand and easy for you to adopt. Okay. To start with, if you're mixing is still okay, but you remember nutritionally, this has been told to us generation after generation, because you get all the nutrients present in all of them, right? Just now we discussed one will have less, one will have more, or one will be missing in one amino acid. So a brilliant way is to combine all of them, isn't it? You get all the amino acids complete. Very true. Technically, yes. But what Nature Cure talks about is making your food simpler and simpler and simpler. Why? See, if you look at your gut, I must have discussed in the first session during fasting, from morning till evening or night, you're eating and eating and eating. The gut is busy with spending energy, time, and effort in digesting this only. Correct? So, what does Nature Cure say? Nature Cure's simple principle is you make your food simpler and simpler so that the gut spends less time, less energy, less efforts to digest and assimilate your food. Clear? Now, there is a lot of energy left. We have conserved a lot of energy because our food became simple. That conserved energy will always be used up by the body for repair, replacement, rejuvenation. So the whole point is to conserve energy. We can conserve energy in multiple ways. I decrease the number of thoughts, unnecessary, unwanted, negative thoughts. I've conserved energy. I have stopped talking nonsense, gossip. I have conserved energy. I have stopped intense physical activity, which is unnecessary. I have conserved energy. I've made my food simpler and simpler and simpler. I've conserved energy. Now my body uses all of this conserved energy in repair and healing every single day. And that's why I don't fall sick. Even when something goes wrong, my body has immediate energy available to do the repair. Clear? That is why I differ from a nutritionist who says, combine them, you get all the nutrients. Yes, she is true. She is right. Absolutely. But my bigger goal is to make my food simpler so that I can conserve energy, right? That's why I told you in a very subtle way the other day when somebody asked me, you will not be killed, you will not die if you eat multiple fruits, if you eat multiple grains, multiple dals and grams, you will definitely not die. But when you make it simpler, your body gets the advantage or benefit of this energy. That is why even when you start, I would definitely say grams and dals and grains, try to make it one. Even grain, if you do two also in a meal, it's okay to start with. But dals are very difficult to digest. Each dal has a different time for digestion. So it is important to keep one dal per meal, just one. Okay. So this is how, as you go ahead, the goal is one type of dal in a meal, one type of grain in a meal, but vegetables, if possible, one type is wonderful. But if you can't, even if you have 2 or 3, it's still okay, because all of them have similar amount of starch.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Amruta, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, ma'am. The session about protein was very good. And my question is, I wasn't able to understand the class of fiber because I was traveling. I didn't get much of information about that. But my question is related to about juicing. Like, if we juice fruits and if we remove, that will become just a sugar juice, is what you had said. My other question is, if we juice vegetables and take out the fiber out of it, just take the liquid, like suppose if we are making cucumber juice and take out all the residue, which is about 90% water in cucumber, just a little bit of fiber will be left. If we take out that, will we get all the nutrients of cucumber or other vegetables when we are drinking the juice
Hmm.
without fiber?
Okay. Now, see, I would always recommend do not filter your even the juices when you make. First is to not make juice at all. Eat your cucumber. Why are you making the juice out of it? Is my first question. Okay. But later on, if somebody says, yeah, it's an alkaline juice, I want to start with an alkaline juice. People have taught me to use an alkaline juice. Yes, go ahead. Why do you want to remove the fiber from it? Don't. Okay. Keep the fiber. The problem is, even if you keep the fiber, you have blended it. Whether it is a fruit juice or a vegetable juice doesn't matter. Once you blend them, the properties of the fiber are lost to a large extent. Maybe still they're there. If you use a blender, not a juicer, you still have, whether it is your vegetable juice or a fruit juice, you have the fiber in. There are so many people who argue with me. I have kept the fiber inside. But once you blend, you've lost the properties of fiber. The properties of fiber, which we have discussed for a long time, for many, many hours together, you should know they're all lost. So there's no point in doing it. Okay. And people, all of you, if you can compile one benefit of fiber and help Amrita understand, that'll be nice. Or whoever has the notes can pass it on to her. Next question.
Kadambari, you can unmute and ask your question.
I can't hear you, Kadambari. Please be a little louder.
And now, is it audible?
Better, yeah.
Okay. And my question is, in the morning time, since well, when we are eating fruit, and on some days or maybe many days, it so happens that after one round of fruit, say at 6 or 7 o'clock, and before the coconut water, if we need one more round of fruit, would that be wrong?
I don't think I got your question. Can anybody repeat what you understood?
One round of fruit.
You are not audible for me. Okay, do one thing.
Wants another round of fruits. She wants another round of fruits.
Oh, okay. So you ate fruits, you're hungry, you want another fruit meal. Is it okay? Is the question. Okay. Now, first is to start building that first, what you said, I eat fruit meal, no? Build that to minimum 500 grams. How many grams are you generally eating? Do you know? Eating 500 grams of edible portion of fruit in the first time? Are you adding coconut or avocado? Then do everything I say and then tell me I am not getting the benefit. Then I'll tell you what else to do. You're not doing everything I tell you and then you start asking questions. Is not fair. Right? Okay. So start adding coconut or avocado. I've been explaining this for such a long time, both in the message and orally also. It's very important to add them. And also, as I said, Akshay, or I don't know who I said, you have to add something in between your breakfast and lunch also, temporarily for some time, so that it gives you that relief. Now tell me, instead of eating a fruit meal, if I add in between tender coconut water, is it more simpler to the body, or eating another fruit meal is simpler to the body? Where did you go away? Oh, Kadambari, tell me. Isn't it? Yeah. First is you will not feel hungry if you add coconut or avocado. If you feel hungry, have a tender coconut water. So you have made it easier for your body. Great. Okay. Next question.
Prajakta, you can unmute and ask your question.
Ma'am, my question is related to what Kadambari said. So I also don't add coconut or avocado, but at the same time, if I'm okay with one fruit meal and I'm not feeling hungry, neither I am like feeling any discomfort, then is it still necessary to add avocado or coconut?
Okay. You're perfectly fine and wonderful. That's very nice. But keep watching. But the days you want, you can add is first thing. Second thing is, I want the meal to be complete with all the nutrients. You know what are the different nutrients? You remember carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, then fiber, water. These are the only 7 nutrients required by the body. There is no 8th nutrient required by the body. So if you look at fruits, carbohydrates are there, simple sugars, glucose and fructose. Proteins, enzymes, fats, not almost not there. Some of the fruits might have some. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, fiber, and water is there. What is majorly missing is fat. That is why I wanted to add a natural fat content. But if you're okay with that, if you're comfortable, your weight is perfect, you don't have any medical conditions, you're perfectly right. Absolutely okay. That's wonderful. That's the next stage. Good. You're doing great. Okay. Continue. And if there are some days when you feel you want, please do add. No problem.
Yeah, I don't think so because I'm doing this since 5-6 years. So
Then you will not need. Then you will absolutely not need. Don't. Okay. Yeah. And now all of you don't get jealous with Prajakta and think of jumping into it tomorrow morning. Don't do that. That is where we start failing. Please. She has done it for 5 years and she has reached there. So do it slowly over months and years. Your body will dictate. Your body will tell you, okay, stop doing it. I don't like it. I don't want it. And then you can reach that. You don't go ahead with that. Okay. Thank you.
Ma'am, also tell what quantity of avocado and coconut should be
I told you on that day, quarter coconut or quarter avocado. That's all. If the avocado or coconut is too small, then maybe you can have half of it. But quarter avocado or quarter coconut will do the job.
Thanks, ma'am.
Okay. Next question.
Achal, you can unmute and ask your question.
Happy Teachers Day, ma'am.
Thank you so much, dear.
Ma'am, I'm a North Indian. So since childhood, we had roti and rice always, right? So now I feel incomplete if I have only one grain. And in fact, I have millets, ambali now at night. So I feel like having one ragi roti or any type of roti also. Can I have it?
You know what? I am used to eating gulab jamuns with my dinner every day from childhood. I don't like leaving it and I don't feel complete without eating my gulab jamun. What do you want to say to me?
Change, adjust.
If you want the status of your health, your weight, your fitness to change, you need to change to the right thing. Okay. So whenever your mind allows you, whenever your body allows you, do that. But that's the goal is what you need to remember. That's all.
So I'm at war front right now. My chemos are going on. Everything's going on. So it's not that, but
then don't even tell me any reason. I'm not allowing you to do anything of that kind. Be clear of what you want. You know your goals, right? You need to reach there. You need to remove that from your body. It should not erupt again. So it's very, very important to make drastic changes. I would allow everybody to go slow, take your own time. No, not for you. You need to do now and tell me how it's going and be with me in the next 1 week. Please do.
Also let me know what is more beneficial, like having ragi is more beneficial. Let me know that way also.
No, you need to do all of them. Each one of them have their own benefits. Now, see what needs to be done in your body. More of repair is necessary at this point of time. How do you get the repair done quickly? Conserve more energy. How do you conserve more energy? I would say go on raw all 3 meals. You understand what I'm trying to say? Don't.
No, I was doing it before chemo, but now when chemo started, everyone is saying to have cooked. So don't have raw at all.
Who's that everyone?
But I am having a bit, then a meal also.
Yeah, finish the course, understand everything, and come for 1 or 2 sessions of personal coaching so that I can see what best can be done from my side. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. And ma'am, for which brand and for rice, ma'am? Somebody in the group?
Where are you? You're in Bangalore, right? You're in Bangalore.
No, Surat, ma'am, Gujarat.
Catch hold of others. But Surat also has good amount of organic stores, if I know it right.
I'm not getting the name exactly. Otherwise, I'll order. I'll take somebody in there.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Next question.
Ishita, you can unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am. Happy Teachers Day. बहुत अच्छा session था आज. Really enjoyed today's session. Ma'am, I have gray hairs and जितना मैंने आज तक समझा है कि हमारा बाल की मतलब वहां से लेके एकदम पैर की टिप तक everything we are made of protein. So how can I work on this thing? इसे कैसे मैं कर सकती
हूँ? Can I ask you how old are you?
28.
28 is not an age to have a gray hair, I'm sure, definitely. But are you doing all else right? Are you following everything? Are you on a fruit meal for breakfast?
No.
Why?
I was traveling actually. I came yesterday only.
Can we start doing tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Okay. Tomorrow morning, your hair will not become black. That much you'll understand? Yes. Start adopting everything which I'm telling you. And at your age, what is your specialization, Nishita?
As in?
In your profession, I'm asking.
I'm into IT sales.
Sales.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to ask you next question. So you need to look at how do you deal with your stresses?
I deal my stress very well. बहुत
How?
खुश रहती हूँ मैं पूरे दिन.
Okay, right. Do you have enough job or you don't have any job to do then?
I have job, but I know how to balance it out. I don't let things affect me.
Okay, wonderful. That's a very good idea. If you're emotionally stable and nothing actually hurts me on an everyday basis, I'm not going low and high and low and high. That's wonderful. Yeah. But still, I would say, when you say I have gray hair, does your mother or your father also, did they have gray hair very early in 20s? Did they?
Not really.
Then it shouldn't happen. If it's happening, something is wrong. Somewhere something is wrong, right? In eating, you have got to know everything in great detail systematically. Adopt all of them. Have good physical activity so that you get enough good supply, blood supply. Massage your scalp. I've told you everything. All you need to do is do. If you don't do and keep complaining, gray hair, it'll multiply. It'll not come down. Okay? Start doing everything. And once you start doing, do it for 6 months completely properly, and then get back to me and tell me, do they still exist? If they don't exist, wonderful, don't come back. If they do exist, then something is wrong what you're doing and we need to correct it. Okay? Yes, protein is very important. Hair is made up of protein. Nails are made up of protein. They are very important. That doesn't mean you have to eat double the amount of it. You also need 50 grams only, not more than that.
Right.
Okay? Right. Next question.
Sure, you can unmute and ask your question.
Why is Kushbu sitting there only from such a long time, poor girl?
Actually, ma'am, I don't want to miss anything, a single word. I was very eager to hear about everything about the protein.
But why is your hand raised? Do you have a question?
No, you said na you won't be able
Okay,
to
now
anyone. That's
put
why
your hand
I
down so
raised
that
my
others
hand.
can come there, please. Yeah. We'll miss
Now
the.
I have a question.
Yeah, raise your hand, then you will come in the line. Next is Akshay. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Happy Teachers' Day.
Thank you.
Ma'am, regarding potato, it is a very controversial vegetables for the type 2 diabetics people. What should be, you told any amount of carrot or anything having more glycemic index, even if more than 70, that may be consumed safely by everybody, irrespective of a patient as well as a healthy person. But of the potato, it should be peeled or not?
Okay. Now, are you diabetic?
I was diabetic, but it has been reversed right now.
Wonderful. See, first thing is to eat all vegetables, not just the potato. Everyday potato is not a good idea. You have to get all the vegetables. There are hundreds of vegetables, fruit vegetables, green leafy vegetables. So eat all of them. When you eat potato, eat with the skin. If you follow these two rules, you don't have to worry about potato. And potato problem. No, not when you steam them, not when you eat them in the paratha, not when you eat them as a palya, not when you eat them in the sabji. When does it become problem?
No.
Fries. We'll talk about it in the next 2 sessions. Okay. Potato, when you're eating in this form, is absolutely okay, unless you have a problem of acidity. If you have you have ruined your gut, then a potato also will create more gas because they're gas creating. All the cruciferous vegetable and probably potatoes for some people could not be, it will not gel well. But all else, you don't have to worry at all. Use potato like all other vegetables. Use all vegetables. Then with potato,
its peel is helpful. Its peel may be consumed.
Of course, yes, it is very important. That is where the micronutrients are. I want you to do this exercise. Go and tell me what are the nutrients present in the potato peel. I think there was one paper which I've already presented. Go and check it out and tell me what are the nutrients present in the potato peel. You will understand whether to throw or not to throw. Right?
Ma'am, one more question. I follow naturopath and my coach tells me to consume daily as a breakfast the Asgard juice. Is it beneficial, the Asgard juice?
Right.
If I'm daily.
That's what I said when I said some people start the day with alkaline juice. All naturopaths generally advise alkaline juice early in the morning. Not huge quantity, small quantity, just to make the body alkaline. So if you're following it and if you have somebody who's advising you, please continue.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Next question.
Chandrakanta, you can unmute and ask your question.
I think we'll stop with Reena. Otherwise, we'll keep going. With Reena, we will stop. Okay. Yes. Next, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 questions. Right. Chandrakanta, go ahead.
Ma'am, regarding fasting, I want to know, is it good to have a fasting? Like
You're breaking, Chandrakanta. I can't hear you properly.
Is it good to do the half-day fasting every day? Like if I do my half-day fasting every day, is it good?
Why do you ask that question? Tell me. Do you have any goal or do you?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't have any issues with it. I'm a habituated of doing the fasting, and I don't find any problem also. But my husband, he's facing the gut issues. So we have started with a 1-day fasting. So he wanted to have do this every day. He wanted to have this like till 11. He wanted to do this fasting. So that for that purpose only, like I just wanted to your advice that is it good to have?
I don't want you to think I'm doing fasting every day. Instead, what I would advise you is don't eat till you get hungry. It could be 10 o'clock, it could be 11 o'clock, it could be 12 o'clock, it could be 2 o'clock. Doesn't matter. Don't eat your breakfast till you feel completely keen hunger is created in your system. Don't eat. That's all. Don't follow any rule. Don't say I'll eat at 12 o'clock. Why the 12 o'clock? Right? So follow your body.
Ma'am, he's
If
taking
your body
BP
gets
medicine
hungry,
also.
yeah, doesn't matter.
So that does not matter. And regarding ma'am,
The
when you
doctor has said take this medication with food. Whenever you eat the food, take the medication. That's all. After some time, you don't need the medication because you have done everything right. Medication will go off. That's it.
okay. And ma'am, if we are taking the morning breakfast fruit, like in between fruit and the meal, can we have if we don't have coconut water, instead of coconut, can we have a buttermilk?
Buttermilk.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Next question.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
Next.
Archana, you can unmute and ask your question.
I have a question. Sometimes blood is thicker, like sometimes very red, very dark. Then
why are you seeing your blood from? Where are you seeing, madam?
आप सुन तो लो question, ठीक है? उसके बाद आप कहना. So because you are teaching about amino acids and everything going into blood, so I was wondering, is it because the oxygen level gets depleted because of more amino acids, or is it the protein is high, then also blood becomes like very, very thick?
My first question is, how do you know your blood is thick?
Earlier, when you give blood tests and things like that, and then they take out, then they'll say that it's so dark, or it's maybe thicker. So that's why I'm asking, is it the oxygen that I need to?
Now, did the person tell you, is it darker in color or is it thicker in viscosity? What did the person tell you?
Viscosity.
Okay. Is this a medical person or simply somebody making a comment?
She was an Ayurvedic doctor, not a medical lab test person.
Now, what you need to do is drink enough water, fluids, okay? And also adopt everything the way we are talking. To not too much of proteins. I don't know how much proteins you are consuming. Right now, make these changes. That's all.
I don't eat a lot of non-veg as well.
Huh.
So I've never been a very protein eating person or a lot of egg whites or things like that.
Don't worry at all. There can't be amino acids sitting there. Don't worry at all. Okay. I don't think you are satisfied with the answer. What is it exactly you're looking for?
My answer would be, what can clean the blood? What is a good food that
Exactly.
can include?
There is no one single thing which can clean your blood, which can make it thinner. I have told you, fiber itself can make your blood thinner. In the discussion during fiber, eat enough fiber, it will do the job. You don't have to worry, but adopt everything. There is no one single solution. There are no quick fixes with me. I tell people who take my personal consultation, don't think I'll fix your problems in one this thing, one that thing. No, you'll have to do everything. You have to change your eating, living habits. If you're ready, if you have time, if you're ready to make efforts, come. Otherwise, please don't come to me. I'm not the right person. There are millions of nutritionists all over the world. They'll fix one problem with one food. Do that, not me. I look at the whole body, mind and beyond as one. And I'd like to treat the whole body as one. And that is where we will get the complete benefits. And we can be healthy in every sphere of our life. Okay?
Yeah.
So many of you have not
Thank you.
switched on your cameras. Please let me see you guys. Kanika, where are you? Teresa, I have seen you. Renuka, I have seen you. Please, all of you, keep your videos on, at least in the last few minutes. Yes, next question.
Jabela, you can unmute and ask your question.
Jabela, is it? Chaitra is not there in the line, is it?
On my screen, it is showing Jabela.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. Hello, ma'am. Happy Teachers' Day.
Thank you.
Yeah. So actually, my question was that right now, today you explained us that now we have to learn to fast the whole day. But so now that we've started eating early in the evening, it's very difficult for me to keep the fast even till 12:30. And also because I'm diabetic, I take the long-acting insulin. That also makes me very hungry. So I was just wanted to know, how do I take it forward, and
take the insulin
how
shot.
will I do the whole day fast is like my concern.
Don't go. Stay. I mean,
Okay.
they do this much first. Do half day. Tell me, when do you take the first insulin shot in the morning?
Around 9 in the morning.
Your breakfast? Before your breakfast?
Yeah.
Then what is the problem? On the day of the fasting, don't take the insulin.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Please
okay.
don't
I
take
didn't think like that.
Please take the insulin and then fast, then you'll kill me. Tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
they'll put it in the bowl. Dr. Gauri killed somebody.
No,
Please don't do that. Okay. Please don't take your insulin. That is why I kept saying, people with diabetes, don't do it on your own. Get somebody. No, don't you have a doctor in your family, Jabela? You have some doctor in the family? You don't have anybody?
Not in the family. Like we have our physician that we
some
go.
cousin, some relative, some friend. You don't have any doctors who can monitor your blood sugar and say, okay, don't take insulin or take this much of insulin. Nobody? Find somebody and get their help.
Okay.
You don't do it on your own. Fasting.
Okay.
Start with half day fasting, and on the day of fasting, either you have to take very little insulin or no insulin, depending on your blood sugar. That only doctor can check your blood sugar and tell you, okay, you can do this safely. So don't do it. Otherwise, it becomes unsafe. You understand what I'm trying to? I mean, what I'm concerned about? Yeah. Please go and do it on your own. If you don't find anybody, finish the course and get 1 or 2 consultations, personal consultations with me. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Next question.
So, Chaitra, you can unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, ma'am. Wonderful session, and I was waiting for this actually. Protein is really very much concern to me. I just wanted to ask you, in spite of you saying the story about that boy, is protein really related to weight loss, ma'am? Weight loss.
Protein related to weight loss.
Yes.
What do you mean? Will it help weight loss? Is your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. See, the minute you start gambling with the macronutrients, you will not reach anywhere. Increase protein, decrease protein, increase fat, decrease fat, increase carbohydrate, decrease carbohydrate. You will not reach anywhere because all of them are giving you calories. You have to play around with the micronutrients. You have to increase the vitamins. You have to increase the minerals. You have to increase them. Why? Because they don't give you calories. The minute you increase them hugely, you will start losing weight. Where is the weight? And how do you increase them? fruits, vegetables, green leafy vegetables. Do you want any other explanation? You are a dietitian. Right? That's all you need to do. Don't play around with people's rice, roti, dal. There is no use. Simply increase, add a salad, add a sabzi. Keep on increasing the quantity of sabzi and salad. They will reach there. You don't have to do anything. I'm just teaching you the trade secret. Okay? You can come for an internship after the course with me for a month and have the clinical experience. I deal with at least around 25 people, 25 sessions only I do in a month. So if you're there with me for 25 sessions, you'll know what kind of questions people ask and how do I answer, how do I manage each kind of disease. Then you will be able to do it on your own. If you think you can get. Huh?
Is it offline?
It's it's online. Everything is online. My consultations are online thanks to COVID. Next question.
Neeta, you can unmute and ask your question.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wish you a very happy Teachers' Day, ma'am.
Thank you, dear.
And I would like to take the internship with you. Maybe later I'll definitely reach out to you. My question today, ma'am, is the wheat, the grain wheat, we usually buy, either give it to the chakki and things like that. How about soaking it in the night and morning, grinding it at home itself? Is that a good idea, ma'am?
What do you want to do out of it? It depends on your recipe. You can't make roti and paratha out of it, I'm sure.
So maybe not like roti, but I can stuff it with that and make a chila or something, with very less.
Absolutely. Why not? Use it like a rice. You soak it and grind it. Of course, yes. You can use it the way you want. I have no problem with your recipe. Do whatever recipe you want. You create some more and do a course in Wellcure saying I have created some recipes, new recipes, but use
lots of recipes. Definitely, I'd love to come and do.
Whole wheat is all I want you to use. Do whatever recipe you want.
And another thing was avocado. Usually we've done guacamoles with salads, but can we add avocado with fruits fruits as well?
That's exactly what I've been telling, right? See, coconut and avocado, these two things, you can add it to the fruit also, you can add it to the vegetable also. They taste good. They add the natural fats. So good to add either of them. But see, all of these, the lesser you cook, the better. Of course, see, in South India, probably we might grind coconut. We might, boil coconut in the sambar or something like that. But we can use coconut to garnish. That is much better than these. These you do the least. Those you do the most. To get the best benefit. Okay, next question.
Jonita, you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah. Hello. Already, my question one was avocado, and the second one was like nobody ate in my family avocado earlier, and flax seeds and chia was unheard of. So is that normal?
Shall we talk about seeds in the fat session?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but
avocado answered.
Yeah.
Avocado is answered. Okay.
Yes, already answered. Thank you.
We know you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello, ma'am. Are you listening?
Yes, very much.
So my question is, over the last 1 year, I lost 17 kg of weight only because of the dietitian and yoga. But now I feel my body mass index is 5.7, which is like good. But I feel because of the social pressure to increase the weight. So what should I play with the nutrition to increase my weight?
Okay. Can you tell me with your ideal body weight? Are you at your ideal body weight?
Yes, I'm perfectly ideal.
Why are you worried about social pleasure? You have to look at your body. You are perfectly in the weight. You are fit. You are healthy. If those see of your health and you're fit, then I don't think you should get into the pressures of social norms or anything. Are you feeling healthy from inside?
No, anybody looks to me saying that I lost huge amount of.
Why? Because they saw you then with that 17 kgs excess weight. Now they're seeing you. So at least in India, for the love, we always, how do we show our love? Give the unhealthy things. We show our love saying, I want my child to be chubby. Ask your mother, we'll always want you chubby only, right? So that is not the right way to assess ourselves. We need to be at the right weight and at the right fitness level. If you're fit and if you're healthy and if you're at your ideal weight, I wouldn't say do anything to gain weight. But if you eat right, all 3 meals, don't eat anything in between, eat good quantity till you feel full and contented. Increase the fat rich foods, which we will speak in the coming sessions. That should be good enough. See, you should actually be at least 5-6 kg lesser than your ideal body weight. That is where you're safer. Increasing and losing weight, couple of kgs can become easy. So if you're 5-6 kg less than your ideal weight, that will be very good for you. I am 8 to 10 kgs lesser than my ideal body weight. You should always be there to be at the right weight. You could not think of putting on weight, but doing everything right, and if you put on a little weight, is good for you.
Thank you. Thank
you. Next question.
Rovita, unmute and ask your question.
Hello, ma'am. Happy Teachers' Day, ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for today's wonderful session. It answered a lot of questions that we've been having on the mind since a long time. Ma'am, my question today is that, the urad dal, the whole black dal.
Gram. Urad gram, you mean?
Yes, the gram, the black urad gram. We've heard from a lot of people that it causes an increase in uric acid levels. Is that true?
Not just urad. Every gram and dal will increase uric acid because any protein for that matter, the byproducts are those only. So any dal should. But if you're healthy, if your kidneys have no problem, your body knows how to handle it. If you're eating the right amount of dals and grams. But if you already have a problem with your kidneys, if you look at kidney function test and if your uric acid or creatinine or anything is out of range, then you have to worry about it. Otherwise, stop worrying. Eat 1 cup in each cooked meal and that's good. Don't worry about it. Specific.
There's another question that once I was having a lot of hair fall and I had gone to a hair specialist there by the name of Richfield in North India. So they said that you should totally avoid the black dal.
I have no clue why. I have no clue. You need to ask them.
Right.
It's not necessary. Eat all grams and dals, but don't overdo any of them. It's not necessary.
I think it's okay if we have it once a week and we keep rotating all the different dals as you've already told us. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, people are increasing, is it? I said last will be Larina. Now I think Teresa, and that will be the last one. Otherwise, every day if I go until 8:30, then people will get scared. Okay, next Nagashri, Reena, and Teresa, please. Okay.
Yeah, so Nagashri, you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. Happy Teachers' Day. It was a wonderful session today. About protein, because there are a lot of questions which I had. I think I got answers to all the questions.
Wonderful.
And my question is, like, I have a short sight, like it's -1. I got it just before these sessions started. So doctor told one was 1.5 and 1. Now both it has become 1. He said, actually, I don't like wearing specs. He told, I just want a laser. He told, don't do that because as I'm 40, he told your reading will start. So another 15 days should not be a problem. Now, as I am started doing the sun gazing, I have observed that once we look at the sun, I will not increase more than 30 seconds. I usually watch it at least 20 to 30 seconds. Once we close our eyes and come in, it will be like dark, blackish, something like that. So throughout the day, I'm feeling somewhat like that only. I don't know whether my eyesight is getting rectified or is that okay throughout the
First
day?
thing is to not time it. Do not time it. Whenever you...
No, ma'am, I don't do it.
Blink. That's all. Not 20 seconds.
Yeah, if I get irritated, I will close. I will not force.
And as I said today, make a cup of your hand and close it. Until you feel completely fine, don't open it. And then naturally, when you see sun directly and come inside the house, you'll feel it a little darker. You'll need a few minutes for the adjustment. Okay, it'll happen. But continue everything.
No, after throughout the day also, I'm feeling somewhat like that.
That's not right. That's not right is what I'm saying. It shouldn't happen.
Okay.
So correct your gazing is what I'm saying. One is time of gazing, and also it shouldn't be harsh. It should be very, very mild sun. And then do the cupping also. Do all of this. If you think you need some more time, do it shorter period and see if it changes. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. If it happens, something is wrong. Okay?
Okay.
Do the cupping, then come and wash your face and eyes with cold water. Do all of this and let me know. Okay?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Next question.
Teresa, you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah. Hi, ma'am. Happy Teachers' Day. Ma'am, my question is like when we make dal, I've heard people are saying we have to use the hing when we prepare dal, but I do yoga, but in yoga they say it is harmful for for the health. So, what is your?
If you see Nature Cure, you'll get even more scared. Nature Cure defines food as if you can eat it just alone, on its own, then only it's called food. Otherwise, it's not even called food. Can we eat hing on its own?
No.
No. So you don't eat it. Every food, you'll have to check that. Coffee powder, can I eat? No. So it's not food. Mango, can I eat? Yes, it's food. Like that. I mean, we can go to any extremes, right? So if you don't like, if it's not used in the family, see, all these are rajasic. Why do you use hing? It stimulates, gives you that flavor, no? It stimulates to eat more, right? To go there, to want that. So it's a stimulant. That is why in yoga, all that which stimulates you is not good because they're all rajasic in nature. We will deal with what is rajasic, sattvic, tamasic in the last session. You will understand more about it. But yoga always talks about everything which is sattvic. What is sattvic? Which will keep your mind calm, which will keep your mind positive. You want to eat more and more of that, right? So you start anywhere you want to, but goal is reach there. So if you think you want to use it right now, start using lesser of it. But with yoga, if you understand you want to do that, then make it less frequent and slowly go and taper it.
And with the fruits, can we add that malai, tender coconut malai instead of grated
Somebody
coconut?
had asked the question. When I answer it to one person, please take it as answered for everybody else if you have the same question. So if you eating mature coconut is good, but if you can't tolerate it in your gut, then maybe you'll have to use the malai. Or if you don't get mature coconut, you can use malai. Or one day I have malai, I don't want to waste it, I'll eat it. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Reena. Sorry.
Happy Teachers' Day, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, did you find your ring?
Oh, where are you? Oh, you're from, oh my God. I was wondering, how did you get to know my ring? Okay. Not yet.
Did you find it?
Oh. I must have lost it outside also. I don't know. I had gone out. I had stepped out for a couple of hours and then came home. And so
maybe you should have misplaced it, like Bhagyama was saying, you have misplaced it. You should just search for it.
Bhagyama says it is inside the house. I have not got an opportunity to search completely.
Yeah, maybe you should search. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So my question is, I lost that connection in between. We require proteins only for rejuvenation and replenishment. Can you just highlight as to why?
As adults, we need protein only for repair, replacement, and rejuvenation. Because growth and development is over for us as adults, right? We don't have to grow or develop anymore. That is why it is only for repair. So for repair, how much more can we need? And also, did you get to hear that gold thing? So already protein is present inside the body only. Not that all the broken protein is gone out of the body. It is still there. And for this repair, first thing is we need less. Second thing is it's already there in the body. So we need very small amount is what I was trying to convince all of you. That's all. Okay.
Okay. So if somebody is feeling very weak, lethargic, so generally they say you need to put on weight, eat protein. So that's just a belief.
Now tell me, you said two things. One is weak, you want energy. Second is weight. What do you think? Do you need carbohydrate or do you need protein?
Carbohydrates.
That's right. If you think, you will get your answer because you have understood everything. right? You don't
Yeah.
need anybody to answer. That is the whole point of me explaining, so that you can answer your questions. You can make your choices at the end of the day. You don't need
So
any.
overall, you need to fix everything, not just one.
Absolutely true. Correct. Yes. So shall we end?
Thank
Thank you so much to all of you and all your wishes, and have a wonderful, restful night.
Happy Teachers Day.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am. Happy Teachers Day.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Gauri, for the amazing session, and thank you everyone for joining. So we will be connecting on Wednesday again at 6 in the evening. Till then, you can share your questions in the form that I will share in the group, and Dr. Gauri will answer that. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ashleka. We have taken more than your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, ma'am. Thank you.
Good night, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am.